if I get even 5 seconds with President Obama, what can I say to this man that will capture him? What can I say that will take him out of autopilot that makes me different from all of the other hundreds of thousands and millions of people he's ever met?
Now, it's time for us to talk to American mentalist and entertainer Oz Pearlman, also known as Oz the Mentalist. He's freaked out the likes of Barack Obama, Joe Rogan and Richard Branson with his tricks. Now, the most televised mentalist in the world went viral on social media recently when he appeared on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast and was able to get Joe's pin. Well, the former Wall Street analyst claims we can all learn his tricks. In his new book, it's called Read Your Mind, Proven Habits for Success from the World's Greatest Mind Reader. And Oz joins me now. Welcome to the show. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Alexis. Thanks for having me.
Listen, Oz, you said you don't read minds. You don't have particular psychic abilities. You're just reading people. So what's the difference?
Yeah, I wish I was psychic. I would have won the lottery by now. I'm working on it, Alexis. So I have no supernatural powers. I am not claiming to be psychic or speaking to the dead. Everything I do is learnable, and it is skills that are rooted in science and, quite frankly, in something you know well, which is magic. So mentalism is what it's known as, is magic of the mind. For less props, it's not quite like a card trick where sleight of hand is involved, and it's for entertainment purposes. I am not, a con man stealing Joe Rogan's information to go clean out his bank account. I entertain people. I bring joy. And the book, quite frankly, does not teach you how to do what I do for a profession. It's skills and habits to achieve success, whereby if today I stopped doing what I did for a living and started a new career, I believe these same skills that have allowed me to rise to the top of my current profession would apply to anything else I would do in life. So I don't want to disappoint anyone. Don't buy this book if you would like to learn how to guess Joe Rogan's PIN code. I'm not teaching that, unfortunately.
Now, look, as you mentioned, we both are very familiar with magic. I remember when I got the bug
Of course.
For magic. When did you get the bug? The magic bug.
So I was 13. Oh, it bites you hard. So I was 13 years old. I was brought on stage. I was on a cruise ship, which was my biggest birthday party present ever. It was just, instead of doing a big party, we went on a cruise with the whole family. And my dad, I'm pretty sure in hindsight, bribed the magician and got him to get me up on stage. And it's a classic of magic known as the sponge balls. And it's based in sleight of hand, where I had one ball in my hand. He did a magical gesture. I had two, and they disappeared and appeared, and I was blown away. Alexis, I went home. I checked every book out of the library, and obsession turned into passion, eventually turned into my profession and livelihood, but it started at the age of 13.
But where did it all, though, explode for you, Oz? Because a lot of people, a lot of friends that we have in common take to magic. They become mentalists, which you describe very well what a part of the magic fraternity that is.
Yes.
But not everybody explodes like you have. So what happened to you? Because this wasn't what you chose as your initial profession. You worked in Wall Street.
I worked on Wall Street.
That's
I worked
right.
on Wall Street, a corporate job. I was punching the clock, sir.
So what happened?
So it takes, you know how they say the joke is it takes 10 years to become an overnight success? If you measure my career, there's been 10 years and then another 10 years. So I quit my job 20 years ago. Hopefully I don't look my age, but I left Wall Street, which was a leap of faith. I assure you, my friends and family thought I was crazy. And at 10 years later, we have a show here in the States called America's Got Talent. I, of course, know yours, Britain's Got Talent. And on that show, I got third place, and that really changed the trajectory of my life, whereby I went from doing local birthday parties to kind of becoming more of a national caliber act. And then over the next 10 years, our version of football, right? American football and the NFL is the biggest sport. And I have aligned myself and performed for many, many professional athletes at NFL teams, at NBA teams. And those clips have gone viral. And if you were to ask me, some of my kind of secrets to success has been that I no longer, when I perform, think about myself. When you watch some of your most notable performers, if you watch, the card trick is amazing, the performance is amazing, but the highlight is always the performer. I have decided to turn the mirror around and make the other people the star of my show. So when I perform for a football team, I make it all about the fans. I make it about the scores of the games. Who is that quarterback going to throw the ball to? And so the content is much more interesting and fascinating to the person watching because it's about them.
Oz, are you worried sometimes that perhaps people see the amazing miracles that you perform and they think, well, he must know, he must have some psychic abilities, which you've been very, very clear to people and said, look,
Sure.
this is doable. I'm not superhuman. But do you
Right.
worry that people look at that and think, well, actually, we can use psychology, we can use body language, we can use sort of what I would call pop psychology sometimes, things that
Sure.
are not really based in reality in order to achieve these miracles, which have their fundamentals, if you like, in really clever magic techniques that are hidden and they should remain so. But do you worry that sometimes people get the wrong idea?
So quite honestly, I try to be as upfront as possible. And
Hmm.
and if you watch, I literally tell the truth about everything I do. When I say that I'm applying body language, I am, but how much of it is body language? Is it 5%? Is it 95%?
Right.
That's honestly that's for you to behold because imagine a comedian. If you were to apply the same principles to a comedian when they tell a story, do they have to start the story by saying, "This didn't really happen to me. I want you to know I don't really have these views, but let me tell this joke as if." It wouldn't be funny. So my job is to craft memorable experiences for you. And guess what? I am not Harry Potter. I am not psychic. The way that I am doing these things is rooted in science and magic. Do they use body language? Absolutely. Swear to God on my kids' lives, I can read body language a certain way. But can I walk into a room and lie detect for the FBI? Absolutely not. So I'm creating memorable experiences, and a lot of that comes down to wonder. And wonder and engagement is when you give people these explanations that they don't exactly know. And every time you think you know how I do it a little different. And that's what makes it fun. So again, if you want to debunk it, I'm the first person to debunk it for you. I am not psychic. So when you see things that are absolutely impossible and the only explanation is reading minds, that's the best compliment you can pay me because I've worked for 30 years to give that impression to you. But again, I have no other way to place it other than in every interview I ever give. I'm clear and transparent about what I do. And again, with the book, which I just want people to know, the book is teaching you to achieve success.
Hmm.
You are not going to be the world's best body language reader, but you will read people more effectively. You will gain tremendous confidence. You will leave a room with people remembering you. And those are key facets in achieving your goals, whether it's in the world of meeting your partner, meeting the love of your life, getting a raise from your boss. These are tactics that I know work because I've used them myself for decades.
So, Oz, give us one of those habits of success from the world's greatest mind reader. Give us one of them.
So I'll give you one of the best ones ever, which is so silly and so small, but I can't tell you how much of a difference it's made in my life, which is remembering people's names after I meet them. There's nothing more like, I don't want to say disrespectful than you met somebody and 2 minutes later, oh, I don't know your name, right? It means you weren't important enough to me. And sometimes it's not your fault. So I'm going to give you a tactic that you will use 10 minutes from now and 10 years from now. I call it listen, repeat, reply. Say it with me. Listen, repeat, reply. When you meet somebody, the first thing you normally do wrong if you forget their name, you didn't really listen. You were thinking of something else. You were thinking of you saying your own name. You didn't actually take the name in. So you never forgot it. You never knew it, Alexis. So the key is when you hear the name, quiet your mind. It's that easy. Listen, repeat. You will repeat their name at least twice to cement it in your mind. Think of you on the beach. If I gave you a stick and I said, write my name in the sand. If you did it once very quickly, the first wave will wash it away. But if I give you the chance to do it deep 2 or 3 times, it will take far more waves to wash it away. If I repeat your name, I go, Alexis, is that right? Alexis? I've said it twice. I've already increased my chances by more than 90% that I will not forget the name in the short term, 1 to 15 minutes. And now we cement it. Reply. The reply is when you do one of three things. You ask them to confirm the spelling. Alexis, is that Alexis? I like that, Alexis. I've now said your name 4 times. Or give a compliment. Everyone loves a compliment. Alexis, I love those glasses. You look very sharp. Now in my mind, you're Alexis with the cool glasses, a visual hook. Third, maybe connect it to somebody you know. So you don't even have to tell the truth. Go, Alexis, that's so funny. My sister has a great friend named Alexis. Maybe she doesn't. I'm a total liar, but either way, I will not forget your name.
Uh, d-
Listeners, try this today, and you will use this for years to come.
do you know what? I think they will, and I think they will try. And this is brilliant stuff, Oz. Listen, let me ask you briefly before we go, because you really have
Sure.
done magic to anybody that you'd think is an A-lister or famous. You have been there, amazing them. Tell me a little bit about your encounter with Barack Obama, because that was a very brief encounter.
It was indeed. How much time do we have? I need to know if I need to compress this story, give you like a very quick one. Tell me, how many
We've got a
seconds?
couple of minutes.
Okay, so I was performing at a very high profile event. It's called Global Sports Leaders. They bring the heads of all different organizations. In fact, I believe the owner of Arsenal and Manchester United was there, team owners and commissioners of different leagues, FIFA, you name it. It's a global event, and President Barack Obama was going to be speaking. I was going to take the stage after him. Now, as one might believe with a president or with a prime minister, there's lots of security. And we didn't exactly know if there was going to be a meet and greet, if you will. So it was very spontaneous. And this is one of the biggest chapters of my book, am always prepared and over prepared. Plan. You need to plan things out. If you don't, if you don't fail to plan, plan to fail. And that's so, so true. So I, for several months, thought to myself, if I get even 5 seconds with President Obama, what can I say to this man that will capture him? What can I say that will take him out of autopilot that makes me different from all of the other hundreds of thousands and millions of people he's ever met? And challenge yourself to do the same if you meet someone, whether it's an interview, whether it's a new colleague or employee. Think about what you will say, prepare. And so I came up with something, and hear me out, Alexis. What would you say? So he had just finished the stage and doing a Q&A. He was walking around shaking hands. I waited about 15 minutes because I'm a short guy. And finally, we made eye contact. I go in to shake his hand and I say the following: "Thank you so much for the gift, sir." What would you say, Alexis, to a stranger that shakes your hand and says, "Thank you so much for the gift"?
Yeah, you'll go, what gift?
That's exactly right. That's what 99% of people will say, and they will be confused. And confusion is great because it breaks you out of autopilot. You go, "What gift?" Right? You don't feel like you're going to say the same thing you did to everyone else. And so I say to him, "Well, sir, I'm going to take the stage in 10 minutes. So I forever get to tell people that President Barack Obama opened for me." So he, of course, chuckles. And it was a great little joke as well as a nice little, it upped my value. And my hope was that he would say to me, "What are you performing?" What he said was infinitely better. He goes, "Oh, I know you. You were amazing on Hard Knocks." So right there, I freak out lightly, but try not to let it go because my wife is behind me. She doesn't usually come to shows. I go, "He knows who I am. He knows me." And then I know this is my moment. So I say to him, "President Obama, 30 seconds, the most amazing thing you've seen, not today, but this month. Are you ready?" And I created a time constraint because for him, he has a lot of other people's hands to shake. And if he didn't know, if I said, "Can I show you something?" He goes, "We're really busy. Maybe next time." 30 seconds is a great amount of time because there's a limit. And so as soon as I said that to him, he goes, "30 seconds." And I knew I had him. At that moment, I read his mind. I did something I'm famous for. I hand him a business card. I had him think of somebody that he's going to talk to. He changed his mind in the middle. Was I with him 30 seconds? Far longer. But I captured his attention. And no, that's the key in life. The currency of our current age is eyeballs and attention. It's what all of us are doing.
I love it.
Whether you're a teacher in primary school, you're trying to get your students to pay attention. Your kids, your spouse. So I got him, and he'll remember that moment for a long time to come. I know for a fact because we've spoken since.
Oz, we've run out of time, but it's been such a pleasure to speak to you. I have been
Thank you.
fan from afar, as you can imagine. The Magic Fraternity here in the UK are big fans of yours as well.
Well,
So thank you.
I've spoken at the Magic Circle before. I toured the UK, and it's overdue for a trip back. So
I
would
know
love to
you
see in
have.
person.
Come back to us at the Magic Circle. We'd love to have you. Oz, thank you so much for giving me your time. The book is called Read Your Mind, Proven Habits for Success from the World's Greatest Mind Reader. Oz Pearlman, thank you for joining us. If you haven't caught some of his clips online, you're in for a treat. He is exceptionally good at what he does.